of ourselves, our inward, is our heart. So in reality, the real inward of ourselves is our heart. So the fasting is a connection to our heart, which the heart is where Allah looks to, as He says. Allah doesn't look to your faces, He doesn't look to your wealth or your adornment. Allah looks to your heart and to your deeds. So when we are in fasting, our attention is to our heart, and Allah's attention is also to our heart. We have a form of dhikr in fasting which is very strong, very intense, very private and secret. And so fasting is a special. Allah says, if I remember correctly, children of Adam are rewarded 10 times, up to 700 times for their good deeds. But fasting is mine, and I will reward it. So fasting is already definitely singled out as a special case. It's an inward, it has no external manifestation at all. In terms of working on ourselves, of course it works on ourselves with the restraint, with the patience, and with that connection towards Allah, which mentions in the Quran again, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you may learn awareness of Allah. You may become aware of Allah. You get taqwa, awareness of Allah. Again, it's an education towards our character, a development of our character through fasting. And zakat, charity in general is very good, but Allah actually put charity into the religion as a necessity. He made it obligatory, He legislated for charity. So that those people who have sufficiency, who meet the conditions, they pass their wealth on to those who do not meet the conditions. In the previous ages, the previous times I remember, there used to be political parties shouting and stridently demanding redistribution of wealth. They regarded it as being criminal or obscene for people to be wealthy. And they demanded that everybody should be the same. Everybody's wealth should be evenly spread, the communist or Marxist type of ideas. They never worked, and they wouldn't work. It's not human. Alhamdulillah, Allah made it work. Allah gave us zakat, which is redistribution of wealth. Not so you can't be wealthy. No, you can be wealthy. Alhamdulillah, you are allowed to be wealthy. It's perfectly fine. Use your wealth well. But Allah has a right upon the wealth. Why? Because even though we worked hard and we amassed the wealth, whatever, we earned the wealth, but we did the working, but Allah did the giving. What came to us was from Allah. Yeah, we need to work. It's correct to go out to work and strive to make a living, a good living. But what comes to us is from Allah. And then Allah has a right to say, now you give some back. So, it actually turns out that what we earned, we thought this is my wealth, it wasn't all for me anyway. It never was. It was always for somebody else. So, it helps us not to go down that road of thinking this is mine, I earned it. We're away from that. The Quran mentions وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. What we gave, they spent. So it makes it clear that Allah is doing the giving and we are spending from what He gave us. It saves us from the stinginess, the miserliness, which we are in danger of becoming attached to. And once we are trained to give something from what we have, it detaches us from the dangers of attachment to the dunya and the love of wealth. Alhamdulillah, it comes out of our hearts by Allah's kindness and Allah's decree. We learn to care about other people who need more than we have, more than we need. So it's a training again. This is a training upon our character, upon our nafs. Hajj, well, we go to Arafah and we say, Labaik Allahumma Labaik, here I am. So, inwardly and outwardly, we're in front of Allah. I can't say too much about Hajj, but it's that moment when everything comes together. We're in front of Allah and we say, here we are, at your service, I came. Alhamdulillah. So this is the religion Allah gave us. The benefits are there. We have a connection to Allah through all of this, and the reward of all of it, but also Allah is working on us. Because in the end, what Allah wants us to be is good Muslims, of beautiful character. So we're not just practicing Muslims, but we're beautiful people. And when people are beautiful people, they affect other people. So, Prophet ﷺ, he received the Quran on his heart. His heart was prepared for it, he was clean, he received the Quran. And then he personified the Quran. Aisha radiallahu anha said, was asked, how is the Prophet? So I said, what was his character? So his character was the Quran. What he received on his heart, he immediately took it on, implemented it, but he displayed it. So his character was a shining example of what Allah gave. Allah's light, the Noor, the guidance of the Quran, was coming through him. His character was a beautiful example of perfect character. And he affected everybody he saw, everybody that saw him. We also need to be, in a sense, in that way, following the Prophet ﷺ, trying to develop our characters by opening our hearts and cleaning our hearts. That cleanliness that's necessary to connect to Allah, we need to be there doing that. We need to be able to connect to Allah so that our inward is in some sense, like in the fasting, in some sense with Allah, in some kind of a sense of dhikr and awareness, so that what we are doing and what we produce, our actions, is going to display that. There is a hadith that there's a piece of flesh in the body. If it's good, whole body is good. If it's corrupt, the whole body is corrupt, and that's the heart. So, what is good inside will come out good. If there's bad inside, it will come out bad. The goodness of character is what we're being asked to produce, to please Allah. I wrote a lot of notes to try and remember and keep going. So, Imam Ghazali said, good character is something deeply ingrained in a person from which good deeds flow easily. So, good deeds are like the fruits of good character. And a good deed, Prophet ﷺ mentioned, good deeds are sadaqah. Everything that you do of good deeds, they're sadaqah. They have a spiritual effect. There's a generosity about them. So even if you're helping somebody, if you are listening to somebody who wants to speak, consoling somebody who's having difficulty, being kind to somebody who needs kindness, just a kind word or a smile, even a smile is sadaqah. So if those things are coming, good deeds, coming from a good character, they're coming from your heart. And that heart is something, in a sense, there's something coming from Allah through you and reaching the other person. That's the channel that a person can be with good character and open-heartedness, to be able to reach people and benefit people just by a word or by a deed or a kindness. the best of the people that Allah has raised up, the awliya, this is their way. Their hearts are connected to Allah 100%, and their actions are entirely in tune. So when they say a word, it affects people. When they smile, it affects people. Even when they just glance at somebody, it affects people. It melts the heart. It removes the darkness. It brings people out of their sad conditions. It can bring people to from darkness to light. Prophet ﷺ said, through a person's good character, he can earn the reward like a man who fasts all the days and prays all the nights. So good character is an extremely valuable attribute. Fasting and praying is very big, and it's the practice of the pious people. But the good character is on level with that. So you can say also that the fruit of that fasting and that praying, that would be good character. The Prophet also said, the nearest to me on the day of Qiyamah will be the person of best character. So again, we're thinking this deen is for presenting ourselves to Allah, fulfilling the commandments of Allah, but also presenting Allah with something beautiful that He will be pleased with through our actions and our character. And if that can be the case, then that type of person is suitable to be close to the Prophet ﷺ, the best of character. So I think I skipped through a lot of things, but I won't try to labour it. Inshallah, Allah make us able to clean our hearts. Allah make us suitable people to do good deeds, which will be pleasing to Him, inshallah, and fulfill our purpose for our creation, to know Him and to please Him, inshallah. I'm not going to carry on.